Take this one. Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Graham Moore, Certified Master of the Leadership Challenge, and you are now tuned into or are watching the Leadership Challenge Middle East with my very good, wise friends. And I'm going to start with Bahrain in Manama. I'm going to ask Mohammed Shukri how he is today. Mohammed, how are you?
I'm doing very well. And hi from Bahrain.
And from Dubai, Phoebe Francis.
Greetings to all. Good to be in company of you as well as Graham and Mohammed.
Yeah, now we keep bashing on about the importance of leadership, don't we? Because we know how important the leadership challenge is. I'm a certified master of leadership challenge, been doing this for a long time. And my two good friends are we're going to say I better be careful on that word, who are dedicated, I'll use that one, to becoming even better leaders, such as I am always trying to become a better leader. And we are trying to change the world one leader at a time by the wonderful words that we have in the Leadership Challenge. So let's just imagine that I come into the room and I say, I'm your new leader. Hi. I should say hi, shouldn't I? Hi, I'm your new leader. So what are the three questions that typically people will want to know the answers to when I've come in and said, hi, I'm your new leader?
Well, at the beginning, before the three questions, I will ask, what? That's for sure.
Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. Phoebe.
Yeah, my question is, who made you my leader? That is something which straight away coming. Really? Is it a positional leadership which you are speaking about? Or am I seeing you as a leader?
Well, there are three questions which the research consistently says that people want to know the answers to. In the Leadership Challenge research I'm referring to now. So let's just assume that I have been appointed to this position, Phoebe, and maybe it's the CHRO who has finally made the decision and given me this position. And where have I come from? Azerbaijan, where I believe it's beautiful in the mountains, and I've now descended from the mountains and I'm come back in to be to be your leader. So what are the three questions that the research indicates that people want to know the answers to about this person who says, he's your new leader?
Well, of course, you want to know where this leader comes from. Like, like their past, their history, their background, how much they have done, how much they know. Have they been in this position before, or it's the first time? So you need to know some background about that. So for me, it's where do they come from?
Where do they come from? Phoebe, or the other?
Yeah, one of my question is, okay, now we have a new leader. What is he going to do or she going to do? Where are we going together? And what will that journey look like? How and what will happen to me in that process? Will I be able to grow? Will I be able to?
Phoebe, can I interrupt you? There's several questions that you're popping up at the moment. Let's deal with one at a time. And the first one indicated was one of the three, which is, where are you taking us?
Yeah.
Where are you taking us? And this then, of course, gets to the second of the 5 practices of exemplary leadership, which is inspire a shared vision. So if this person comes in and says, I'm your new leader, what do you want to know? You want to know, yes, his background, and we'll come back to that in a moment, but where are you going to take us? Where are we going with you? How different? Tell us where we're going to go. And the third one I will postulate, I will offer the third of the three questions that people most often want to know, and that is, why should we follow you? Why? So let's come back to the first one. And Mohammed made a point about my background as the leader, and that's what people are interested in. So tell us more about that. That is, Where have you come from?
Well, people are trust more the person who has a clear background that's relating to the current situation or current work that we are engaging in. All right. So if we are doing a project on like oil and gas now, and you are our leader in that, we want to know how many projects have you done before, and what were their magnitudes, their width and breadth, all right, and your legacy possibly, etc. So that will give us some sort of trust that we are going with the right leader, and it will increase our motivation actually to work. So just by knowing, let alone the motivation that will come with the work, but by knowing who you are, that makes that, confidence, builds that confidence.
You used a word which is so important. Well, you used several of them, but the one that I want to focus on now, and you mentioned it a couple of times, is the word trust. So if I tell you what I have done in the past, are you saying that that will give you trust in me?
It does, and it will give to a certain level, increase the trust at least, all right? But then on the ground, from this point onwards, trust also must be built and sustained.
Yeah, I think, but one of the first things that in answering that question that it builds before it builds trust is credibility. When if you were to say, where are you, what have you done in the past, and if it's an oil and gas organization that I'm with now, coming to you to join, and if I then talk about experiences in the oil and gas sector, that is building credibility. Correct?
Mm.
But if I say, well, I've been a banker for 37 years, you might say, what? Okay, that builds credibility as a banker, but what does it do for the environment that we are in now? We're in oil and gas, which is a bit different to banking. So the first part, I believe, of getting to trust is credibility. And once I build credibility by saying where I have come from, that's one of the first steps to trust. Trust is such an amazing concept, isn't it? The more we look at what we can do with trust and the value of trust, where are we if we don't have trust in the person who's leading us, in our colleagues, in people we're working with, people we know? Trust is so important. Trust is so important, we know, in our personal relationships. Trust just encompasses so much about the relationship and where it's going to go and how successful likely it will be. So the first part, I think, is telling you the work that I've done in the past that helps to build credibility. And as you were indicating, Mohammed, when you were filling this out before, that when we move this along this way, then it starts to build trust. But trust can, of course, easily be broken, and then we've got all sorts of problems. So the next one of these three questions is Phoebe talking about the future.
Yeah.
Why is the future important?
I see leadership as a relationship, and in that process, as always, Graham, you always highlight that. How connected are you with the leader? And that, again, based on the process of character building through credibility and authenticity, we are actually trying to be trusting the person who is taking us. And is there a picture being shown? And as if it is a hierarchical leader, or if we see a leader through based on our understanding, we always look in what is in it for me in that process. And again, as leaders, the first practices of leadership challenge, modeling the way, we see through them. And are they inspiring a vision so that I can join them, I can handhold him in that process, him or her in that process, so that we move into that that vision area. And that is important and impactful for everyone following that leader,
Why?
because that is that it have a cost which I am willing to provide in that process.
Yeah. Why is a vision important? Where are you taking us? Why is that an important question? It's a critical question. Where are you taking us?
Yeah, as I mentioned, when vision inspires people, vision
Why?
inspires us to when we take stories, each story is taking us to a space where we love to be in. And whether that leader who I am following is taking us to that place, he or she, and that brings all the others together in that process of that journey.
Yeah, but let's make it really critical in terms of the leadership challenge, because the second practice is inspire a shared vision. Now, if we talk for a moment about, visions are always inspiring. Well, I'm inspired by what Nelson Mandela and several others have achieved, but it doesn't mean that I wake up every morning with passion and purpose about what I'm going to be doing. I am inspired by what they have done, but it doesn't mean that I am part of that. That's history, and I'm inspired. Wow, he did this. This is fantastic. Or she did this. But inspiring a shared vision. So where are you taking us? Leaders take people. Let's just say they help them climb the mountain. But the leader, we want to have a vision about where we are all going. Where are you taking us? That's the vision. Where are you taking us? Well, what I see for this team that I'm now leading is that I want to achieve this and this and this. I want all of you to know that each and every one of you are playing an important part in the journey we're moving forward to achieve this. And I know when we achieve that, you will feel a certain excitement about what has happened and a knowledge that you are able to achieve these really good things when we all work together. Now, I'm not being specific, but I'm sure that a new leader would have some specific ideas. And that then, when he's talking about you being part of this, wow, yes, that's where you are taking us. Yes, I want to be part of that. Whereas if the question is asked, where are you taking us? And he says, well, I don't know, I'm just here to do a job. Oh, okay. Am I going to get excited about that every morning? No. But if he's defined and helped then involve us as the team in the vision and where we're going to go, yes, then I'm excited. I want to be doing this. This sounds fantastic. So the third, sorry.
I mean, look at all the leaders who are taking new positions, either by appointment or by election. You talk about diplomatic, realms. Every one of them will announce their vision forward. They know that announcing the vision, where are we going, is crucial for people to trust them. Okay, I'm going to elect you, I will not elect the other one because I'm more in a shared vision perspective with your vision, so I'm going to join you. So no wonder whether appointed or elected leaders focus on telling people where are we going with this when we start our first day.
Yes. And the critical element of that is that people will feel that they want to be part of that. Yes, that's for me. I want to be part of that. And therefore people will feel a greater sense of purpose in what they're doing because this vision involves them. They can feel that they are part of this. And when they wake up every morning, they know that they're going to do this. I've told this story before of a gentleman who I was coaching, senior executive, some years ago. And I said, what's your vision? And he said, my vision is to provide safety and security and a good life for my family. And I said, well, that's fantastic, but I'm not going to get up and come in and work hard for you all day for you just for that. Oh, he sent me a message on WhatsApp about a year ago now, talking about the vision that he had developed as a result of my conversation with him in this regard, and that he wanted his companies, not just one, to be world class in what they were achieving, and for each and every person who is in those organizations to achieve great things because of what they have done overall. And he sent me this note saying, Graham, as a result of what we talked about, I can now say I have achieved this. Wow. So he's, as a byproduct of all of that, his family will have achieved safety and security. But it meant that the hundreds of people who were in his companies felt excited about where we are going on this journey together. Not just because you're going to look after your family. I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that. When I can engage you and have you feel a great sense of purpose in where we are going,
Absolutely.
that becomes an inspired vision that we are all sharing in. So let's talk a little bit about the third one, unless you want to add to that, Mohammed. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yes.
So the third one was, why should we follow you? Part of it we have probably covered, but part of it only. So the third question, as I walk into the room, you're going to say, according to the research, why should we follow you? So let me say to you, Mohammed, if it was you, what would you say? Why should we follow you?
I think I will talk about how I will operate things, how I will increase the quality, efficiency, how will I will help you, of course, meet your goals. And we can talk also about especially challenging the process and enabling others to act, things like this. But it will be in this in this area.
Okay, Phoebe, why should we follow you?
Yeah, I think one is, how can I connect with the emotions of the people in my group, whether it is in a workplace, whether it is at home. What are their emotions? What are their aspirations? And if, as a leader, I am able to connect with that aspiration as an individual, and I can see that is the space where followership happens with the leader, and that is where you can see the team aligning, and the way in which that communication happens is inspiring each of the members. Okay, this person is understanding what my need is. This person is understanding where I want to go. And again, we have always heard about this phrase: people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it is that element of okay, this person cares about what is my need and is trying to fulfill that. And this process, and I like to link it with the encourage the heart in the leadership challenge.
Yep.
And that triggers followership, and that triggers a group of people willing to do as the plan. And I call it connection before content. That connection is made, that emotions are being driven to support that inspired vision with all the people together. So to your question, I will be following that leader who is willing to listen to me, who understand what my needs are, and try to support me in that process to reach that destination.
We got there. We got there. So my question was, why should I follow you? Why should I follow you? So I want that. You've kind of got there in terms of the first person response when you're saying that. But when someone says, why should I follow you? I'm going to be quite specific and say, I've been in this business of helping people and leading people for quite some time, and I'm learning to be a better leader every day. I know that we are only going to get great results by what we do together. You will know fairly soon that I will support you in all that you're doing. I will seek your advice I'll seek your input and I will listen regularly to what you need to say to me so that together we can achieve much better results in what we're doing. Why should you follow me? I'm very strong on my values, and I'll share my values with you as we move in the next little while, as we move forward. I want to know about your values, and I want our values to be aligned. When we know that we have aligned values, we are all going to be performing better with each other overall. Why should you follow me? Because I'm going to share the vision that I have for us as we move forward. And I want you to know that you are part of that vision. And when we achieve that, we'll celebrate together. Why should you follow me? Because I'm going to be looking for your ideas on how we can improve what we're doing. We call this challenge the process. I'll be looking for your input on how we can make things operate far better than they've been operating in the past. And I'm going to absolutely make sure that I enable you to come up with wonderful ideas. I'm going to actually show you to be able to, how you can perform even better than you thought you could perform. And you are going to be engaged, I know, by the relationship that we have, by my encouraging you, and by also the fifth practice of the Leadership Challenge, which is I'm going to recognize the good work that you do, and I recognize everybody on the team when good things are achieved, so that you know that you are a valued member of the team. Not just because I'm saying it now, but I will do this every day in a very practical and real sense. So let's move on to the vision that we are all going to achieve together. So how does that sound, Phoebe? Do you want to come with me?
Yeah, I'm just reminded of the concept, which Aristotle brought in the ethos, pathos, and logos here, which is also connected with the way in which you frame with the leadership challenge, and it all makes clear sense. When ethos are built, the credibility is built in that process. When logos, you are asking, why should I follow you? The logic process of what is in it me is made clear in that process. And then comes the pathos, emotions, like how am I triggering or encouraging the heart in the process, so that and these trio, the ethos, pathos, logos, and I see a great connection which every leader should follow in that process to build the 5 practices of the leadership challenge.
Even the Greeks knew about it, right?
Yeah.
Knew about it. And look, I keep shaking my head. That's why I haven't got so much hair left. When people say that leadership is hard, what have we just talked about? Is it hard? Is it hard to build a relationship with people? No.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Is it hard to show them respect? Is it hard to? I could list. I keep going on. These are not hard to do, and these are the processes which simply work every time. Now we could talk about some leaders managers rather, who say my door is always open. One of the problems with that is when they say my door is open, the problem is that they are not always there. And when I say that, I don't just mean physically there in their office, but I mean there in terms of the headspace that they are going to give that person, that their mind is closed. Their door might be open, that their mind is closed to taking on new information, to hearing complaints, to hearing concerns, to be hearing what? No, oh, look, I'm too busy for that. So my door is always open. Leadership.
Yeah, that reminded me, Graham, of this phrase, which is like, true change begins where silence hides. That means how can we bring our voice in our organization? As leaders, what way you are helping to bring the voices in the organization? And sometimes I relate to what you said, and people say my door is open, but when I am coming there to convey something, the leader is either distracted or I am not given that attention span. I'm not having the feeling of being listened to. And all of these impact the emotional side of the person. Why am I here? Am I, my voice is being heard? So it is simple acts of, as we said, care, and
Yeah.
simple acts of encouraging the heart that makes a huge difference.
When you talk about, I brought it up, and you've extended the discussion about the door being open and being focused totally on the person when they come in to talk to you. Years ago, I was running a workshop, and we're talking about this sort of thing, and someone mentioned another person who was not in that training. He was at a more senior level. I think he was their manager, and someone said, I have never had a conversation with him in his office without him taking an interruption. That is, without him answering his phone when it calls, or him talking to someone else when you have asked for time with him. And he's always doing other things. What sort of credibility do you have? Why would you want to go and talk to someone if that's their prime reason is to just get on with other things and they don't want to be focused on you? These little things about relationships and communication are so simple to do, and I'm not elevated to something which is so important that I can't listen to you. That's ridiculous. Absolutely. The more personal connection you make as a leader, the more people will want to be with you and will want to be led by you. And then they become better leaders themselves. Simple. Because they do what? You are modeling the way and they are following you and copying you. So those three questions, I think we have well answered, and along the way we have had some technical issues and we have lost our dear friend Muhammad Shukri. I hope he is well, and we will be joined, I'm sure, by him next week when we are together. Phoebe, your final words and the most important point for our listeners in terms of someone coming in and saying, hi, I'm your new leader.
Yeah, so follow the 5 practices, and also I want to bring and highlight the principle from Aristotle on how to influence people. And here it is, ethos, explore how people trust you. Second, pathos, the weight of the argument which you are bringing in. And logos, the logical side of you. Try to combine that.
All Greek to me, but it's absolutely right, isn't it? And but I also think that once you have begun your journey with a new team and you're leading them, the things that we've talked about today will go with you as you build the relationship and build the trust, which is so vital. As Muhammad said at the start, trust is essential, and that's one of the earlier things that we're going to build on, and keep building on trust along the way and building the relationship. Phoebe, thank you very much for your wise words, and we'll be all together, the 3 of us, next week. Have a great and successful week, everybody, and you too, particularly, Phoebe.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. I hope the technical issue get resolved next time. See you then. And to all our viewers, listeners, it is great to be connected with all of you. Bring in your questions, thoughts, and also share it with your circle of friends.
Yes, everybody, please join us. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.